In the heart of the dense jungles of Mesoamerica, a brilliant civilization emerged long before any modern technology. The Mayans turned the sky into science, stone into mathematics, and the forest into monumental cities. Today, we explore the origin, knowledge, and destiny of one of the most genius peoples of antiquity. The Maya history begins thousands of years before the peak of their cities. Agricultural groups mastered the cultivation of corn, beans, and squash, foods that allowed the emergence of the first permanent villages. Unlike centralized empires, the Mayans emerged as hundreds of independent city-states. Each had its own ruler, priests, scientists, armies, and cultural identity. It was a complex network of alliances, disputes, and advancements. Over time, villages became gigantic urban centers. Cities like Nakbe, El Mirador, Tikal, and Calakmul rose as powers in architecture, astronomy, and politics. Astronomy was the heart of Mayan science. They meticulously observed the sun, the moon, the stars, and especially Venus. The movement of this planet was so important that it influenced political and military decisions. The observatory known as Caracol in Chichen Itza is an impressive example. Its structure allowed for recording celestial events with extraordinary precision, revealing a deep understanding of astronomical cycles. Even without telescopes, their calculations were incredibly accurate. The Mayans predicted eclipses, solstices, and planetary alignments. Their records and codices reveal a scientific mind far ahead of their time. Your calendars were true mathematical masterpieces. The Tzolk'in, of 260 days, guided spiritual ceremonies. The Hab, of 365 days, tracked the solar cycle, and the long count calendar allowed measuring gigantic periods of thousands of years. While the rest of the world was still struggling with basic mathematical concepts, the Mayans introduced the use of zero, something very rare in antiquity. This advancement enabled complex calculations essential for astronomy and architecture. And speaking of architecture, the Mayans transformed entire jungles into stone cities. They built pyramids, temples, squares, palaces, and observatories with geometric precision, all without metal tools, functional wheels, or draft animals. Their cities were designed as astronomical instruments. Precise alignments caused shadows to align during solstices and equinoxes, transforming temples into time markers. Maya writing was another extraordinary achievement. Composed of phonetic and logographic glyphs, it allowed for recording stories, wars, genealogies, mathematics, and astronomy with impressive detail. Mayan science also shined in hydraulic engineering. They created giant reservoirs, irrigation channels, and agricultural systems adapted to irregular rains. Entire cities depended on these projects to survive. Behind greatness, there was instability. City-states fiercely competed. Tikal and Calakmul waged one of the greatest political rivalries in ancient history. Despite conflicts, the culture flourished vigorously. Maya art depicted rituals, cosmologies, gods, and scenes from real life. Bustling markets brought together artisans, merchants, and farmers. However, between the 8th and 9th centuries, something began to crumble. Many cities were abandoned. Temples fell silent. Streets that were once crowded became empty. This phenomenon became known as the Maya collapse. For a long time, this mystery intrigued archaeologists. Today we know that the collapse was not caused by a single factor, but by a devastating combination of factors. Severe climate changes caused prolonged droughts. With the lack of rain, reservoirs dried up and crops failed. The cities depended on stored water to survive, and when that supply was lost, everything collapsed. Furthermore, increasingly destructive wars have weakened governments. Old rivalries intensified as resources became scarce. With hunger, thirst, and political instability, populations began to abandon cities. The jungle quickly took over the structures, hiding pyramids and temples for centuries. Contrary to what many think, the Maya people did not disappear. Millions of Maya descendants still exist today, preserving languages, traditions, and ancestral knowledge. The European arrival, centuries later, brought diseases, conflicts and cultural destruction. Many codices were burned, but even so, the Mayan identity endured. Today, archaeologists use technologies like LiDAR to reveal entire cities hidden beneath the forest. With each new discovery, we realize that the Maya world was even larger and more complex than we had imagined. Elevated roads, gigantic agricultural systems, interconnected city networks. The Mayans mastered the jungle with environmental intelligence that rivals modern techniques. The more we study this civilization, the more we understand its brilliance. They elevated mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and writing to extraordinary levels. And perhaps the greatest lesson of the Mayans is the way they saw the universe itself. For them, time was an eternal cycle. The cosmos was alive. Humanity was part of a dance between the earth, the sky, and invisible forces. The remaining ruins are not just old stones. They are testimonies of a civilization that achieved great feats without metal, without machines, without modern technology, only with observation, intelligence, and perseverance. The Mayas did not disappear. They survived, and their legacy remains alive in every new excavation, in every academic research, and in every person fascinated by the past. If this video raised new questions about our past for you, continue this journey with us. Give a like, follow us. See you next time.